Good morning. It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I hope you guys can keep up with what Alabama has cooking. It has been absolutely phenomenal to watch this recruiting class come together. And I get it. It's only July. But man, it is the last, 2 weeks have been something else. I mean, Alabama is certainly climbing, and what I feel, to make a real run at the number one spot in the recruiting rankings. You know, you still got to get a couple key pieces. But look, we're taking a rest day today on July 3rd. But this continues tomorrow on the 4th of July, as well as on Saturday. So you have a little bit of day of reprieve, and then we're back at it. How fun was yesterday? Man, get inside the comment box. Let me know where you're watching from, please. I appreciate you guys being here. But how fun was yesterday? Man. I actually wasn't mad that they changed the commitment time of Sadarius Morgan, right? Man, that was fun to watch. It was amazing to see him and his mom celebrate such a great moment. Because it's about them. You know, I think, like, we get sometimes caught up and we're like, yo, hurry up, commit. But it's like, that is their moment. You got to let them take their time, you know? That happens one time, hopefully. Man, that was cool. So really happy for Sadarius Morgan and his family, of course. And I think he's a crown jewel. There's no way to say. I think there's like maybe 3-4 crown jewels in the class. He might be even more than that. I honestly feel he is absolutely impactful enough. And I'll talk about him, and I'll talk about recruiting. I'll talk about Nolan Wilson tomorrow, and Jariah Edwards, who's committing on Saturday. But I really think, like, look, the comparisons are incredible. Guy's an absolute baller, and yeah, we'll talk about that on the show. We'll have some fun with it today, and I appreciate you guys being here as news happens. But I think one of the good starting points is I saw this interview come up. Bobby Herbert had an interview recently with Ty Simpson. Let me warm up the show. I'll give some recruiting highlights, and I'll give some shout-outs, of course, on the show. But I saw a quick podcast back when Ty Simpson was at the Peyton Manning Passing Academy. And he gave it a quick interview with Bobby Herbert. Man, I'm so on board with Ty Simpson. I'm so excited. And that is not to create some sort of division between the other quarterbacks in the room. In fact, a source told me that the quarterbacks in the room are so close, it's like scary how close they are in terms of the continuity that they have with each other. This is to highlight somebody who has waited their turn, who has worked for the opportunities that they have in front of them, who performed the best in spring to be at this point as Alabama's quarterback, right? And Bobby Herbert was asking Ty Simpson about Ryan Williams specifically. And he's like, look, Ryan Williams is my guy. You probably saw it recently when Ryan Williams, it's a trend. You call somebody and you tell them good night, just messing around. It's just like, this is something that's happening. And Ty Simpson's like, look, that's my guy. He's completely like the guy. We're super close. But he was like, I also compare the wide receivers to guys from the past that were part of those rideouts, right? And he said, look, Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, and Isaiah Horton, they remind me of Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs, right? And you look to what we have coming back as the wide receivers here, it is easy to get excited about. I can't wait to see how this young man can distribute the football to those pieces. And those aren't the only wide receivers, of course, that are on the roster, because there's other guys who are right there as well that are going to get playing time, right? Rico Scott, Jalen Hell, right? The young guns coming in. Jalen Mbakwe just switched positions. That's one of the storylines that we really haven't talked about. But look, I mean, he's a quality athlete enough. I'm just curious to see how they utilize him. But man, I am so excited about Ty Simpson. I really am. You know, I don't think that it's been a while since I've been so excited to see like a quarterback really get an opportunity. We kind of knew for the most part what was coming with some of these other quarterbacks. But think about the guys that we've been able to cover within the last 9 years, right? Mega stars at the quarterback position, because here, I think, before I got here, it was more like the running backs were like the guys here. But now, Alabama's really like the quarterbacks. They've all been in the league, right? It's been the quarterback position here, right? I mean, there was Jalen Hurts, there was Tua Tagovailoa, there's Mac Jones, there's Bryce Young, there's Jalen Milroe. Every single guy is in the league. And now that you have Ty Simpson coming in, man, I'm so excited about it. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And thumbs up. Can we just get a thumbs up for Ty Simpson, man? Let's get behind these guys. Let's get behind somebody like this. Because, look, I'm going to tell you what. You got to get behind people that want to be here. And I see a lot of that buy-in. I see a lot of, I want to be here. I want to be a part of the brand. I want to be a part of something bigger than myself. And I think Ty Simpson is absolutely that guy. So get behind this young man. Support him. Because, man, we got a good one here in Tuscaloosa. I think this dude is quality. Like, super, super quality. I think he's a great ambassador for the program. And eager to see him get his shot, man. I really hope that this kid absolutely balls. Ty Simpson burner up on here. He's such a good dude, man. All right. And then he was saying that the wide receivers reminded him of some of the wide receivers of the past that were absolute ballers. And then I have to go back to this graphic. Every once in a while, I like to refer to some of these graphics, these screenshots from what we saw last year. And now if you put the players at those particular positions, this is something what it could look like, which is absolutely dangerous. Isaiah Horton, Ryan Williams at the slot, Jeremy Bernard. Oh, man. Ty Simpson, I got Jam Miller. Yo, this offense is going to be fire. Right? Derek, what's up, bro? I see you inside the comment box. I'll give some shout outs in just a minute. Kind of warming up the show, letting people marinate, get in here. Look at this offense. Not a lot of weak spots. And that's just 3 wide receivers. So, man, excited to kind of, envision it. Yesterday, gigantic news. Absolute. Look, Alabama's been on an absolute heater. They've been on a tear. They're hot. They're cooking. Whatever analogy that you want to use. Plain and simple, Alabama has recruited at an elite level, right? They are recruiting at an elite level. They're getting guys here to continue the foundation of greatness. Plain and simple. And I've seen this word a lot. I saw it with Jordan Edmonds. 247 had an interview with Jordan Edmonds, the 5-star corner, and I saw this yesterday with 247 Tom Lloyd when he committed initially. And this is Cedarius Morgan, and he said this. He was like, the relationship with Jamarcus Shepard, and he said that he told Kalen DeBoer that he was committed during the official visit, right? He knew. He came here. And I was thinking about this earlier, and he said that this last part, the place I always wanted to be. And I want to get something out there real quick about this whole, that Coach Saban is behind all this. I think that the guys behind all this are Kalen DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, Jamarcus Shepard, building on top of what Coach Saban built, and that's the foundation, right? Because I think there's like this narrative out there for people that are reverse recruiting against Alabama. They're like, it's Saban who's taken over. No, he hasn't. No. No. These guys, think about this. Let's just take the 2 guys, the in-state guys, Xavier Crowell and Cedarius Morgan. These guys grew up watching Saban absolutely dominate, right? Become the GOAT, coaching. So these guys were already Alabama football fans. But these guys, this is why it's so important. These guys still committing to Alabama should tell you, as an Alabama football fan, that they want to continue that lineage, and they believe that Coach Kalen DeBoer and his staff can continue to keep Alabama where they're supposed to be, which is on top, right? So having these in-state guys commit has been absolutely wonderful. And I'm no gas up. Xavier Crowell's highlights are incredible. And this dude right here, Sadarian Morgan, is unbelievable, bro. I mean, he said that he thinks he can come in next year and start as a freshman. And I agree. I think this is going to be crazy to say, but I think that he would play now. I think he would play now. Prototypical wide receiver. He's got the size, 6'4", 220 pounds. Man, I kind of think he'd play now. To think that he's going into another year of high school, can you imagine being a high school corner and having to deal with this dude? Good luck. Hell of a pickup yesterday. I mean, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100. That was absolutely fantastic. Here's a screenshot in terms of what it did for the recruiting rankings for Alabama. This is on 3. I have a graphic of 247 coming up next. Alabama, on this particular graphic with on 3, they have them at number 7 in the country with just a total of 17 commits down here, right? USC has 30 at the top. Georgia has 26. But Alabama, far and away, has 4 or 5 stars, right? And I think once you, let's say you add on Nolan Wilson, let's say you add on Jeriah Edwards, I don't know. Do you get in the top 3 for sure? Do you get number 1? I don't know. This is where 24/7 has Alabama. They have them actually 6th. USC still at the top. Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Ohio State round out the top 5. So if you thought like DeBoer and company couldn't recruit, well, they're proving it right here. And we haven't even entered July, and I think July is still going to be hot, at least this first part of the month as they continue to build on the class. And there's some other guys scheduled to commit later on in the month, but we have kind of a day of reprieve before tomorrow, Nolan Wilson, and then Jeriah Edwards on Saturday. And I'll show those times coming up here in just a second. How satisfied are you right now with Alabama recruiting on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's just see it inside the comment box. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with Alabama recruiting? It's been wonderful. It's been very impressive. Very impressive. Because think about all the things that this recruiting staff, the coaching staff, what they had to go through. Think about all the naysayers out there talking about this particular team. The fact that they lost 4 games, we are not denying that. They lost 4 games. They went absolutely through it. Year 1 for Coach DeBoer, man, those tracks having to go through, man, it took somebody. It was going to take somebody special to go through that initial changeover. And Coach DeBoer just kept it mild. We never saw him go up, go down. Man, he just kept with his own process. And here we are climbing the recruiting rankings. It has to translate to the field. We all understand that. It has to translate to wins. It has to translate to being at the top of the SEC. It has to translate to playoffs and championships. But this is what Alabama can control right now, is the recruiting. And that's what they are controlling, and they're dominating on the recruiting front. Dominating. They're getting who they want. They're taking care of the in-state prospects that they need. And like Larry Large points out inside the comment box, there's guys that you still need to complete this recruiting class for sure. Offensive line, right? Nolan Wilson, you got to make sure that you take care of him. I'll showcase the class coming up in just a minute. This is our big ticket item of the week for our raffle. We got a good amount of people already in the raffle. We'll probably spin it tomorrow for the 4th of July. So $10 up to 3 opportunities to get in. Bama_YouTube on Venmo, Cash App, Bama YouTube. These are from Athletes Thread specifically. So if you want like a jersey of a player and you want it, you need it, go to Athletes Thread and look at the player that you're interested to get the jersey. You could also go to Team Fanatics for other Alabama gear. I mean, you can get Alabama gear anywhere. I'm not sponsored by any of these guys. That's just like where we do the raffles from. So there's still room, even if you watch this on the rewatch, to get in. We will spin the pinwheel on Friday for this jersey. There's still plenty of room though, so if you want to get in, I think they retail for like $119. Sorry, I had to hit a quick commercial because I had to sneeze. Remember when Quinnen Williams sneezed and he blessed himself? Does anybody remember that? He was like, bless you. Thank you. All right, so the raffle is still open. $10 to enter, up to 3 opportunities to get in. All right. Let's do a Thursday roll call. Let's see who's up in the house. Yes, Josh. And if you've sent it, I already got you inside. No doubt. Actually, I got to make sure. You might hear some volume in the background real quick. Let me get the chats up on the screen so we could do a roll call real quick. A couple other things that I want to mention. In fact, in just a minute, I'm going to talk about the commitment times for Nolan tomorrow, and then Jeriah Edwards on Saturday. Just give me 1 second. We just have a little day to kind of get our stuff together before a really big recruiting weekend. Man, it's been just red hot. Nice little day of rest. All right, let's see who's up in here. We got Plain Truth. Good morning, brother. We got Jarvis, of course. We got Rocket Town. We got Dylan. We got Southern Red. We got Wade's World Party Time. We got Jason up in here. We got Shane B. Dylan. We got Kimberly. What's up? We got Matt Dunn. Good to see you, brother. We got BJ. We got Sammy. We got Anita. We got Namarkio Baker. He's very happy with recruiting. What's up, man? Ephraim, always up in the house. We got Larry Large, Mikey T. We got Ron Self. Trevor. We got Roy McElroy. We got Richard. We got Ricky Russ. Clover. We got Nick Bowling. We got Joe Crooms coming to us from Phoenix City. That's what's up. We got Dylan as well. And I didn't see this. Wade's World says Damian Harris doesn't have us making the playoffs. You know, I think that like Damian Harris, this is just my opinion. I think that he's known as a bad sometimes like Greg McElroy, Damian Harris, some of these guys that are transitioning to kind of like national analysts, because Damian Harris is very good, super articulate, well-spoken, sharp, looks the part for TV. Wonderful. He's going to have a really big career. I think some of the things that these guys particularly struggle with is not being viewed as like Alabama homer. So they have to say things like that, so people don't say that they're so biased towards Alabama. And they also are trying to kind of build themselves up. You know what I'm saying? But it wouldn't surprise me if Damian Harris, you know, is still coming to practice and still good with the coaches. It's just something that they have to see. But 100% that dude bleeds Crimson Tide. And people know that, right? Because they know he's a megastar. He's a multimillionaire. So, and you're right, Clover, he might be, yeah, you know what? He might be using, there you go. That's probably it too. Reverse rat poison. Yeah. There you go. Yep. That's 100% it. Yeah, but no, Damian Harris is wonderful. I mean, ever since he did interviews here at the university, I mean, the guy is, I knew he would go to great lengths. I mean, the guy is made for TV, 100%. The next segment is powered by Sonic, America's favorite drive-in, actually in West Memphis, Arkansas, Marion, Arkansas. If you're a business owner out there and want to sponsor some of the segments, hit me up at nmpreps@gmail.com. We appreciate Sonic. Cheese Coney definitely does sound good today on this fine Thursday, right? I have to show this, and I think they've even fallen further. Isn't Auburn further in the recruiting rankings? Aren't they like number 89? I think they fell. Did they fall, or are they still at 74? I had this from yesterday. I might have to update this. I don't know what the hell is going on over there. I don't really follow Auburn recruiting other than like right now, just seeing them fall in the rankings. But to see that they only have 6 commits, something drastically happened. You know what I'm saying? Between Alabama and Auburn. Because last year it seemed like Auburn they're 89th. Yeah. So I think I need to excuse me, I think I need to update this. They're 89th. And I don't know what happened, because last year for Auburn recruiting, it seemed like they had all the money, right? Am I wrong? It seemed like they had all the money. It seemed like because they did. They had all the in-state guys. I think they landed out of the top 10 in Alabama. I think they landed 8 out of 10. And it seemed like they were kind of, I don't know, at least trajectory-wise, recruiting, they had kind of things in order. But man, yeah, Southern Red, you're good. I got you. You're good. But I don't know what particularly happened with like what's going on down there. And look, I still think, and we know this, no matter if they end up getting kicked to D2 or getting relegated. I'm just kidding. I don't know if they get relegated or what. But I still do think that game, I will never say anything about that game, the Iron Bowl, because I know it's still going to be a game. That's the one thing that I've learned. You could make fun of Auburn all you want, but truth is, when we get to the Iron Bowl, man, especially when it's down there, you can kind of talk your talk when the game's in Tuscaloosa, but I ain't talking about it when it's down at the barn. Saban just told you it was Saban just told you that it was haunted. LO Squad. Yeah, that's out there, man. I'm truth be told, it's last year I took it on the chin. I'm not affiliated with anybody. So this is something that I'm open with. I'm not like I used to be a salary employee when I worked for On3 briefly or with Rivals. I'm not that anymore. I'm just an individual content creator. So I try to dedicate as much time, really all my time, to the channel. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna definitely, give it a run. This football season, but man, I got my 2 kids full time. I had a good run at it, so, never say never. And I'll be 100% open with you guys. I did apply for a job at a bank, this week. So, I'm open with that, but here we are. Now, of course I'll announce like if things change or whatever, but I'm doing the best that I can every single day. It's been great that Alabama's been absolutely cooking on the recruiting channel. So I certainly appreciate all you guys' support. And so that's that. And that's cool. I'm just following God's plan, and we'll rock with it. Either way. But as long as I'm here, I'm going to put my whole heart, my soul into every single show, and and make fun of Auburn a little bit. burn another bridge. All right, the last couple days, I'm about to show the entire recruiting class here coming up, but Sedarian Morgan, a 5-star, as you know, came in, calling him a crown jewel, 6'4", 220 pounds, super highly polished, legitimate 4-star, contested catches. I think that he'll be a dominant player in the NFL, as well as here. Hopefully just doesn't bypass college. The guy is unbelievable. You also have Brian Williams, who came in here, and then Owen Cabell a couple days before. But let me just kind of go over the entire recruiting class, all right? So you got Sedarian Morgan up at the top. And these are screens from On3, right? You got Sedarian Morgan up on top, who committed yesterday. You got Jordan Edmonds. A lot of people forget about him sometimes because he committed such a long time ago. I mean, think about this. So, Jordan Edmonds knew that he wanted to be here in March. He saw it. You get what I'm saying? So 5-star Jordan Edmonds. You got Xavier Griffin, who's a 5-star as well. These 2 guys actually out of the state of Georgia. So Alabama, able to recruit not only the in-state. Think about this, because there was also a narrative that Coach Kalen DeBoer couldn't necessarily, recruit the Southeast. I was even interested to see how are we going to do something in the Southeast. But look, Bama sells itself clearly, along with great recruiting, and these guys have bought in. So 2 5-stars from Georgia, 2 5-stars from Alabama. I mean, he's recruiting the Southeast. You see it right there yourself. As we look more in the class, other guys from Alabama, you got Zion Gibson, absolute baller, right, from Gadsden. Max Sutter. I love this kid's tape, like 5 trillion%, all right? I mean, absolute baller. I mean, kind of, he played wide receiver, quarterback, tight end, outside linebacker. Jamarian Matthews, ballers, edge rusher. Jet Thamala, quarterback, right down here. Looks like you may get Taden Kawa out of Hawaii, who's committing at the end of this month. You got Sam Utu as an offensive lineman. You got Chris Booker as an offensive lineman as well. Cameron Johnson out of the home state. This is a hell of a recruiting class, right? JJ Finch committed what? You know what? You could theoretically say that the dude who broke the levee, I like to say is Xavier Crowell because he's a 5-star, but the dude who really got the party started in June was JJ Finch. JJ Finch was the first guy at that later part of June to commit. And then you had kind of the wave. So I don't know, maybe it was JJ Finch that broke the levee. The remaining committed commits for Alabama include running back Javari Barnett out of Florida, Brian Williams out of Florida. So 2 prospects in the state of Florida. You know, you got your prospects from Georgia. Owen Cabell out of Nashville. It's also in the Southeast. Rael Kelly, right, out of Ohio. Zay Hall out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, right? Hillcrest. Let me ask you this. What stands out about the recruiting class so far? What are like kind of things that like come to your mind when you think about the recruiting class? What's up? It's me, Marvin. Look at this. This is dedication, man. Dedication is this. Is Marvin being at the doctor's office and still making time to watch a show? It's me, Marvin. We love you, brother. Thanks for being here. But what stands out about the recruiting class? You know, I would say, okay, I'll put it on the screen. Tall wide receivers. Yep, 100%. Okay, that sounds out to me as well. Clover's saying big class size. All right. Shane B is saying offensive firepower, 100%. Yes, that's kind of, this is what's standing out to me too, is not only like the size of the wide receivers, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", right? But also like even the quarterbacks. And if you get this kid from Utah, the quarterback, Taden Kahawa, right? 6'6", 235 pounds. Like look, Jordan Edmonds, I mean, he's 6'3". Jeriah Edwards, right? What is he, 6'2", 6'3"? Sammy D says, you know, culture. Let's see what Jason has to say. This is a good one. Let's see. Jason says this regarding the recruiting class. He says, hey, Kyle, a lot of future weapons for Keelan, 100%. You think Keelan redshirts this year? Staff seems to be behind Austin Mack. This is probably a video in itself, right? Because there's a lot of unknowns here. And I think you have to look at the quarterback class and understand the reality of where these quarterbacks are at. And the reality is you have an experienced age-wise quarterback coming back who is capable to do great things at Alabama, and that's Ty Simpson. The unknown is how Keelan Russell is going to continue to turn heads as we push forward. And the guy has it. Some people have it, he has it, all right? And then you have Austin Mack here as well, who the coaches also like. Now, I probably have it going into the season. Ty Simpson, obviously, number 1. Keelan Russell, number 2. Austin Mack, number 3. But that can change. And competition only breeds perfection, right? Like if there was just Ty Simpson, he wouldn't get any better. You got to have people behind you always pushing you. So I would say that he's not going to redshirt. I think he plays more than 4 games this year. I think they're going to get him experience. They have to, because if he is the future of the program, if they really want him to be able to duel out with Austin Mack, then you got to play these guys. You have to have them play in not only games where it's kind of runaway situations, but I think you have to play them in games where, you know, you need them to step up and you need them to feel a little bit of pressure. You need them to make mistakes so that you can see how they bounce back. You can work on their mental, you know, put them in some situations that make them uncomfortable. You know, 3rd and 12, you know, maybe you're up by a touchdown, you know, in the situation call. I don't know. I'm not an offensive coordinator, but I know that experience is going to get these guys ready. So I don't think, and you probably think it as well, Jason, he's going to play. We'll see how the season shakes out. But the thing that we got to go with right now is Ty Simpson. And there's no way that you could put a true freshman on the road against Florida State. I know sometimes we look at Florida State and we're like, yo, we're just going to run over them. Yeah, I think Alabama will certainly get past Florida State, and I would imagine that they cover, win by 2 touchdowns. But Tallahassee, that's their Super Bowl game, right? Anything positive that happens in the initial quarter or two of Florida State, Alabama, that place is going to be on fire because that is their one opportunity to get back in like the college football world. Florida State had something going like really good a couple years ago, and then they completely fell off. But this is the only thing that could bring them back is to play Alabama close. Playing Alabama close for Florida State will be a win. It'll be a moral victory for the rest of their season. If Florida State somehow beats Alabama, they offer Norvell a lifetime contract. Same thing that happens at every single program that beats Alabama. Plain and simple. I know I got off track, but that was a good question. All right. Blake says Austin Mack needs a transfer. He ain't playing at Bama. I don't know. I think it's too early to say this, to be honest, Blake. I think that you let these guys get in and you let like the season go. And I think one of the things that you will see this year, that if the quarterback that is starting does get into some trouble, starts to struggle, isn't consistent, can't lead the team to where we want to go, I think the coaches will be able to make a quick change. Because this is the coaches' team this year, where last year I think the coaches were, they were kind of split on some of the guys that were still here leading the program, all that stuff. But I think now with Coach Kalen DeBoer fully in control of the program, I think he'll make, quick decisions to be able to put Alabama continuing the best place to win. Like last year, I still don't understand. It's something that I always think about. It's like I thought we would have saw Ty Simpson more against Michigan, right? Especially in that first half. That was a perfect opportunity. I know the weather was bad and stuff like that, but Alabama needed a jump start. They really did. All right, appreciate the support, Dan. Thank you so much, man, for always rocking with us right here. Jason says disagreed. I think he'll play. Ty is a junior, a 2-year starter. And the other thing is, look, Ty could theoretically come back again. He's not going to do that. I think he'll have a good enough season to put him in the NFL. He's an NFL type guy. Super articulate, super smart, gets it. He's a coach's kid. He'll be here one season. He'll do his thing. They'll get the other quarterbacks ready to go. And then you'll have another quarterback battle going into the next year. That's how it should be. There should always be competition. But I do believe in Keelan Russell, and I think he will be the guy. So Austin Mack, he has to continue to work on his craft, do his thing, rely on his size, do the things that he can control. Yeah, Southern Red, what's up? I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the continued support. Eric D points this out inside the comment box. Kyle, we have to remember that Florida State has beaten LSU twice in the opening season. Yeah, Garrett Nussmeier, he openly admitted that, talking about LSU, that they don't show up in week 1, right? That's something that LSU has to work on as well. No, but I think even though, the line probably gets to 13.5 by the time that Alabama and Florida State play, I think that Alabama probably still covers somehow. All right, let's see. Young C, what's up, man? Young C says he's in Dothan. Then on Friday going to a barbecue with Tumka. Oh, you're talking about our weekend plans. That's what's up, man. Yeah, enjoy it, man. Let's see what Clover has to say. Clover has to say this. I guess we're just talking some Alabama football. Let me see if I have to cover anything before we kind of break into kind of like an open dialogue. Let's see. I covered this. I talked about this recruiting class. I'll jump back to some of these questions here in a second. There's some good dialogue, so I'll go back. But kind of manifesting this type of a class, let me show you this graphic that I'll frequently show over the next couple weeks. So right here, you have the class of 2017. And I'll read off the names. They're probably a little bit small for you to see on the screen, but you have Najee Harris, Alex Leatherwood, Dylan Moses, Jerry Jeudy, LeBron Ray, Jedrick Wills, Tua Tagovailoa. Oh my God, that is crazy. In 2023, Coach Saban's last recruiting class, you had Keon Keeley, Caleb Downs, Caden Proctor, Des Ricks, James Smith, Yanzi Pierre, Quay Rusak, right? Comes out to 7 5-stars on each of those classes. Now, what Coach Kalen DeBoer is doing on this far right side, so far you got Jordan Edmonds, you got Xavier Griffin, Xavier Crowell, Sedarian Morgan. Hopefully you get Jariah Edwards, who's committing on Saturday. And then I don't know where Anthony Jones has even been predicted to. I don't know too much about him. I know that he came on his official visit. I think Alabama is still very much in play. I know that Alabama has a lot of momentum, and usually when these guys of higher caliber start committing, like the momentum that Alabama has, that helps prospects make their decision because savages want to play with savages, right? Also, Nolan Wilson, who is committing, I think I have this coming up. What's next? Yeah. Nolan Wilson is committing tomorrow on the 4th of July. Now, he's a very highly rated 4-star. He's been predicted to Alabama. This would be another one to where, like, kind of shocked if someone came in and offered him a gigantic bag and took him away from Alabama. But he's an Alabama lean, and he's 6'4", 258 pounds on the defensive line. I think in a reevaluation period, depending on how, the analysts view him, this is a prospect who could go to 5-star status. So depending on if you get Tank Jones, if you get Nolan Wilson, theoretically, that's kind of the way that you get to 7 5-stars as well. So, I mean, does anybody have kind of, a feeling about Tank Jones? I mean, you want to manifest that he commits to Alabama, clearly, but I've heard that clearly Texas A&M is in play, some other programs as well. So, and I don't think that we have a date for an announcement. But that will be bigger than Sedarian Morgan's announcement because it's later on the year and people will be, wanting the elite 5-star to jump on board. The guy is phenomenal. Alabama high school football prospects, man, you got some absolute ballers right now, right? You also have Jariah Edwards, who's announcing on the 5th, which is on Saturday. So tomorrow at 4 p.m., Nolan Wilson, and then tomorrow on Saturday, Jariah Edwards, a 5-star safety out of Maryland that has already been predicted to Alabama as well. So, I mean, this is what's going on here. I mean, this has absolutely been a stellar back end of June, and we're already cooking in July, right? So you got Xavier Crowell, Max Sutter, Zay Hall, Xavier Griffin, Owen Cabell. You got Brian Williams. You got Sedarian Morgan. Nolan Wilson tomorrow. You got Jariah Edwards on the 5th. So I have been told there's a someone messaged me and they said that it's Taden down here, that the pronunciation on his name is Kahawa, like Kahawa. So I'll try to find it out so I can get the pronunciation right. Because I was saying Kawa, but I think it's Kahawa. I don't know. But that's where we sit. I mean, it's been elite. It's been fantastic. Once again, this is today's raffle. $10 to get you in, up to 3 opportunities. These jerseys are from Athlete's Thread. I think they retail at like $119. And if you win this raffle, we'll spin the pinwheel tomorrow. At least try to, depending on how many we get in. You can let me know which jersey. We'll communicate on which jersey that they have available and the size, and we'll get it out to you. So that's where we stand, man. It is this is interesting, Todd. Yeah, Todd says that Tank could grow into that bandit position that we now have. Yeah, I think so. Ka'awa. Is that right, Max Tooney? On Tatum? Yeah, what's up, Nick? Good to see you, bro. Don't look at the Tank predictions. It's not updated on On3 and Rivals. Yeah, and remember, it's important to note also that On3 and Rivals, On3 purchased Rivals. They made them their recruiting wing. So I don't know what that's going to mean for like the recruiting rankings. If like On3 is going to have its own recruiting rankings and still have Rivals, but they're under the same, like On3 is now the parent company of Rivals, if that makes sense. So, but I don't know what that does for the rankings. Theoretically, you probably only have 24/7 and On3. I don't know. It's me, Marvin, talking about the 4th of July commitment tomorrow. That is Nolan Wilson at 5 p.m. So we'll be live about, 4:30, 4:15 tomorrow. He's made moves. Shannon Terry's made incredible moves. I mean, he built up Rivals, built On3, built 24/7. I mean, the guy understands the recruiting world better than anybody, and what he's done. Even his son, Jack, who I've seen and I've met, he does, the social media. I mean, they're absolutely on fire. So, yeah, I've met him, worked for him for a brief stint. It's amazing to see, what they've done. How long has On3 even been around? What, 4 years, 5 years? They're top of. It's the top. Sir Pope's asking any commitments today? No commitments today. Tomorrow and Saturday, we'll be back to it. Southern Red chimes in. She said, "My understanding is Drew will continue to focus on college players, and Rivals going to be the focus of high school recruits." Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I think that On3 will be college football, and Rivals will be recruiting, which is kind of the OG, right? Hey, Corey, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Hope you're off to a good start. Angel chimes in and says this: Alabama is a better team. The school is better than Auburn. The recruits are going to go to Alabama. The colors are better. Yeah, well, Auburn has that orange in there, right? From what I've heard, if we get Nolan, then we won't get Tank. Huh. I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen anyone say that. I think, if they can work something out, I still feel optimistic about Tank. I mean, you're not going to get everybody, but for whatever reason, I still feel optimistic about Tank. I haven't seen it like predicted anywhere, but I think I'm still optimistic. Kimberly's asking about some barbecue. Honestly, I don't have the only plans that I have tomorrow. I'm gonna go work out tomorrow. We're doing like a 1776 workout with my workout group, and then I got the commitment at 5. But other than that, man, I don't even have anything to really throw on the grill or anything, man. I need to figure something out for tomorrow. But no, I don't really have any plans for tomorrow. Just kicking it. I'll be with you guys, of course. I'll probably be in some like American attire because I love to celebrate the country and the veterans or people that are currently serving, right? We always talk about, we understand that freedom isn't free. So yeah, I'll be kicking with you guys tomorrow, but those are my only plans. But, news as it happens, and news happens fast. So I guess we could do like a little open mic. So if you guys got questions, throw it on in. I'm just kicking it for a while. Anybody have questions, I'll throw them up on the board. Oh, it's been good, man. The last, 10, 11 days have been wonderful. It's really good to see the players have their moment, to see the coaches get their guy, to see the fans celebrate Alabama football. Because look, Alabama football over the last 15 months, it's been emotional. If you really zoom out at Alabama football, it's been emotional. It's been a roller coaster because, it really stemmed from Coach Saban, right? And when he bounced out, we didn't even really have time to really process that. And then we went into the season. It was like, it was a lot. Anna, what's up? Thank you so much, Anna. Really appreciate that. The best Bama football show on the planet. There's a lot of them. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Anna. I really appreciate it. I put you into the raffle as well. Thank you, Anna. That's amazing. I really appreciate the support. Let's see what Sir Pope has to say. Um, Look, guys, the competitors that know Bama is all about will come. The ones that be mediocre and getting easy playing time won't. Everyone knows they have to earn it. Yeah, I think, kind of getting, earning something is much better than kind of the entitlement. We talk a lot about that, right? It's like the players that want to stick it out, work through it, get on the field. That's the route to go in life itself. But I think we've got caught in like entitlement a little bit. So you got to kind of break through that. Is Miss Ebony Carter here? Yo, that's what's up. Ebony Carter's up here. Boys are home this weekend. That's good. All right. Enjoy your time out in Arizona. What's the temperature over there, Ebony? The temperature might be hotter, but you don't have the humidity. Ebony Carter, the mother of Noah Carter, right? Wolf position player, Alabama, who we love. Let's see. Wade says, man, Kyle, you better hit up the grocery store for something to grill or smoke. If you don't, you have to order some barbecue or take a trip to Buc-ee's. Yeah, I might just do, maybe I'll just do like some burgers or something like that. Maybe like some smash burgers or something like that. Oh, man, I don't even have propane. Man. What's your guys' favorite barbecue place here in Alabama or Tuscaloosa? I really like Full Moon. Full Moon's been growing on me. Dreamland, of course, is a staple, but I like Full Moon barbecue. And they get like the portions are like they're big. Let's see what Matt is saying. Matt, what's up, man? Do we still have any definite tackles to watch? Man, I haven't seen after Malachi Lee. I don't know what other tackles have been on the big board. This might be the most important question right now. Matt, let's circle up on that. This is like an emergency. Yeah, I don't care who we have coming in on the offensive side. If you don't get tackles, we're not going far. Yeah, that was an emergency alert question. Matt, ball. That's the same thing when I talk about this team coming into the season. The only thing that scares me is the special teams. Everybody's new on special teams. Imagine Connor Talty. Hey, man, it's a tight game with Florida State. Go hit a, 52-yarder. All right, first kick of the season. Oh, I got an invite to a cookout. Kyle, just come out to my aunt's lake house. Shoot, Hollywood? Man, that'd be tight. Hollywood, man. That sounds like fun. I mean, Hollywood, Ryan Williams. King Riz says it all for us. Mama Carter. Oh, man. All right, fam. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for rocking with me today. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. on the 4th of July, celebrating this great country, we got a commitment coming in. Been predicted to Alabama. That's Nolan Wilson. Hopefully we'll be celebrating. Did I pre-register for NCAA 2026? I did not. It's something that I have to do. I will stream the game like I did last year. I've been playing a couple games. I might try to fit in one today. I'm in the national championship, and I've never won a national championship. We'll see, Jarvis. I'll keep you posted. What do you think about our quarterback situation? What do you like currently? Because I think I just talked about that, JM. Or are you talking like recruiting wise? I think, you're fine at the quarterback position. The recruits that you got coming in, I mean, Jet Tamala and maybe Taden Kahawa out of Utah, those will be fine guys. And I think the quarterback position going in, I mean, I'm just, huge fan of Ty Simpson. Really believe in the kid, think he's going to do a really wonderful job. I continue to encourage everybody to get behind him. to support this kid. And I don't think, like, one of the things that I think sometimes we have to navigate through is just because we're pulling for Ty Simpson doesn't mean that we're pulling against Austin Mack or pulling against Keelan Russell. Like, we want this guy to be the guy, and we got to get behind him, right? Because these players can feel it. When you support them, man, they can feel it. And you want that positive energy to go on in, man. This guy has worked for it. He's earned it. This would be one hell of a story if this guy comes in and just absolutely balls out. I'm telling you, this kid is an easy person to follow. All right. You guys have a good rest of your day. I'll be back as news happens. Follow us on our Facebook page if you are not a Facebook follower already. Let me see. I'll drop that Facebook link in there. I need to get back on my men's devotional. It was tough, you know, because I have a men's devotional page as well. But man, it is tough. I just feel like spiritually, you know, the daily ads, I'm kind of disappointed in myself a little bit that I've missed some days, but I've just kind of been reflecting on it. It's hard, man. It's hard to kind of pray in front of people, you know. But that's still clearly an area that I need to tighten up in. So I need to fire it back up, you know. So I'll keep you guys posted. But thanks for your support on all levels. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being with me today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a blessed day. Stay where your feet are at. Enjoy this beautiful thing called life. If you're watching on the rewatch, we love you as well. And we'll catch you as news happens. Commitment watch tomorrow on the 4th of July. Fireworks. More fireworks. Have a great day. And I'll catch up with you soon, fam. Love you. See ya.